From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White. Former Calgary Mayor Nenshi is the new leader of the Alberta NDP. He took the party's leadership in a landslide this afternoon, beating out three other contenders. Nenshi now becomes leader of Alberta's official opposition, but he doesn't currently have a seat in the legislature. A small town in rural southwestern Ontario is coming together after a family of four was found dead in a home outside of Windsor. Sherry Bondi, the mayor of Essex, says the town has received an outpouring of support in the wake of the tragedy.
Support has been amazing. I've had elected officials from all stripes, all corners of our province reach out. There's a lot of grief and pain because this family was so interconnected in our small town.
Provincial police have not confirmed the identities of the family members, and they haven't released any details about how they died. Municipal officials in a Labrador community evacuated by wildfires are hinting it may be a long wait for the people to return home. The town says it wants to help residents prepare for what it calls, quote, possible longer-term solutions. Most of Churchill Falls' 500 residents were ordered to leave the community on Wednesday. The Edmonton Oilers are headed back to Florida for Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final and looking to complete an improbable comeback in the best-of-7 series against the Panthers. The Oilers have won 3 in a row, staving off elimination each time to force Monday's Game 7 and get a chance to hoist the Stanley Cup. Oilers head coach Chris Knobloch believes his team can continue their poise in one more elimination game.
Saw a very confident group where there was no panic, no desperation, just a very focused mentality.
The Stanley Cup Final will go to a Game 7 for the 18th time in NHL history, and the first since 2019, when the St. Louis Blues won the Cup. Health officials are warning that they're seeing an increase in emergency room visits across the United States because of extreme heat.
ER-related visits in New York State were roughly 500 to 600% higher than the average June day this past week, according to the New York State Department of Health. In Houston, where the highs have also been in the 80s and 90s like New York, Dr. Neil Gandhi, the emergency medicine director at Houston Methodist Hospital, says they're seeing an uptick in patients.
The elderly who comes in with kind of a heat-related illness. We also see individuals who are involved in, blue-collar jobs or jobs which have a significant kind of outdoor work component.
He says they've seen patients come in at 104, 105 degrees and another degree, he says, and that patient is at risk of death. I'm Julie Walker.
This is the Canadian Press. In sports, the Toronto Blue Jays are in action in Cleveland this afternoon, taking on the Guardians, the second of their 3-game series. The Blue Jays fell 7-1 last night to the Guardians, dropping their 4th straight game. In CFL action, the Edmonton Elks are in Toronto tonight to take on the Argonauts. The Elks are looking for their first win of the season after losses to Montreal and Saskatchewan to open the campaign, while the Argos had last week off after opening their season with a win, 35-27 over the BC Lions. Play has been suspended at the PGA's Travelers Championship. Adam Svensson is the top Canadian, the Surrey BC golfer at 12 under through 15 in the third round, 2 shots back of the leaders. Akshay Bhatia and Tom Kim are tied for first. And Brooke Henderson is the lone Canadian at the Women's PGA Championship. The Smiths Falls, Ontario golfer is 2 over through 14 in the third round, 8 shots back of the leader, Amy Yang. From the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.